I said before the game, I mean, the way they come at you in waves. I mean, they got, three of the best scorers, three of the best scorers in the world on their team. And we saw that tonight. They're, obviously credit goes to them. The way they play, the way they move, the ball, and the way they're unselfish. So it's definitely things that you can learn as well as a team on our end, a younger team, especially when we watch film tomorrow.
How deflating was it for Jerebko to go off the way that he did when it seemed like Steph and Kevin were not exactly lighting the world on fire? Then he comes in with like 14 points there.
Yeah. I mean, it's I will say that's the one thing that's a sign of a great player too. Is you feel like Steph Curry might not be lighting the world on fire, but he has 36 points. I mean, and that shows how good he is. But with Jerebko, yeah, he's definitely a guy who he fits their system well, and he can shoot the ball. And if you allow him to be comfortable, he's a difference maker for that team. Yeah, I mean it is, but I said it, a couple months ago. I'll say it today. I'll say it in a few weeks. I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse. I appreciate how hard these guys have played. When you're going against the world champions, you have to really be on your game offensively and defensively, and then just your collective resolve as a group to withstand those runs. And there's things that we can take from tonight. I think there were some positives, but there were also things that we can learn from.
You guys can be really quick and can be really athletic, but it seems like there is a kind of an absence of real physicality on the team, of really being able to bang with people. Is that something that you have to factor in when you're kind of game planning how you want to defend and switch? And
no, it is, and especially a team like this, they make you pay. When you're, you might not have as much as you'd like in terms of physicality, but with that, and then it did go, with Taj out, that hurt us a little bit as well. But I mean, I look at some positives. We had a number of guys in the positive in terms of plus minus. We had guys compete. And then towards the end of the game, we stayed with it. We made little runs with things. So I do see some positives as well.
There was a stretch where Josh looked like he had hit a rookie wall, and then the past two games he's looked really good offensively. What have you noticed different about him Sunday against Houston, then tonight against Golden State?
Just slowing down, I think, a little bit offensively, and taking taking what the defense gives him. And he's like. Josh is great to be around in terms of, he asks questions and he genuinely wants to improve. And that's how you fight through, if you want to call it a rookie wall. And that's how you fight through, little adversity with that.
Ryan, you've talked about how, as it relates to injuries, you've had a lot of injuries, but maybe the most at the point guard position. Is part of the compensation for that having both Jared and Tyus out there? Does that help the point guard position, having two point guards out there, or is that just out of kind of necessity?
Kind of out of necessity too, with things, but it's also one of those things that you want to put forth your guys that you feel are going to help you compete the best out there. And at time Tyus was playing well. I wanted to get Tyus off the ball for a little bit, and then get another ball handler in there. And also get, one thing about Jared Bayless is he's got, Britt just alluded to toughness, and he's got some toughness to him. So I wanted to get a little bit of that in there, just in terms of being able to kind of play with your hands on a guy.
Ren, with Tyus going 3 for 14, just are you seeing him still trying to find things after missing that long layup?
Yeah.
But he's also had just a tough season in general, shooting the ball.
Yeah, but I'd say, when you're out for extended periods of time, like Tyus was, a lot of times it takes, it does take some time to get a rhythm back, and in terms of working into a rhythm, a starting rhythm where you're playing, between 30 and 40 minutes, you got to train differently, prepare differently, things like that. So this is new to him too. So I mean, we got a lot of things, we got a lot of things going on, especially with that position at the moment. But things that we feel we can continue to build upon.
With wanting to take Tyus off the ball for a little bit, is that because you like certain things he does off the ball, or is that just kind of lighten the load a little bit and maybe less impact?
Lighten the load, yeah. Because and I'll say this, because it's also with the team you're playing against. Like, as soon as Curry gives the ball up, I mean, Tyus had to be running all over the place. So I mean, that's tough.
You mentioned the game has kind of slowed down for Josh a little bit. Is one of the things that slowed down from maybe his shot, because it seems like he's taking his time a little more when he's shooting from beyond the arc.
Yeah, no, he has been the last couple games here, and in terms of just taking what the defense gives you, being shot ready with things, and then also being able to understand how teams are defending him, and that's something that as a rookie, you watch more and more tape, you try to absorb as much as you can with that in terms of watching defensive schemes, things like that. So that's going to be a big thing over these games coming up here in terms of Josh's development.
At what point, you have 11 games left, at what point, like for somebody like Covington, do you say, let's just wait for next year? I mean, he's got 2 months off or whatever. I mean, is there a point in time where you just decide it's better to just ride with the guys you have?
Not on my end. It's you always want to put forth the best team that you can out there to compete, and and that's something that I believe in, and that's something that I feel always shines through in the end. And I'll say our fans deserve that too, which they were unbelievable tonight too. I mean, they helped some of those runs too. So if guys are healthy and able, we'll make them available. But then that also goes, if guys are not healthy and able, you're not going to trot out an injured guy.